are much thicker than the leaves at the top, which is basically exactly what we saw in the tomatoes, exactly what we saw in the summer squash. I think I talked about this before in the previous courses. They'll suck the life out of their lower leaves to keep the upper leaves going. And that's a sign of weakness. Right? I mean, it's basically the same thing going on systemically across the board. This one's got a little bit of darker green here on the new leaves, and it starts to get lighter and lighter and lighter. And you know, I mean, you want that dark green to be everywhere.
And that's the potassium that gets sucked out of the lower ones?
Potassium gets sucked out is much more movable than calcium is. Mm-hmm. Right. And when squash, most of these guys are setting fruit, potassium is one of the things that's pulled, but that by no means means it's just potassium that's deficient. It could be a number of other things, which is why a tissue test or a weak acid soil test are both valuable to discern what's going on, unless you want to just give them a broad spectrum dose of everything. But this is there's lots of good fruit already being set here, right? Look at all, it's not totally covered, but it looks like you've already got a decent fruit set. Mm-hmm. Let's look at the end of the, leaf and see how many, do we have buds here? Do we have flowers?
Yeah, look at that.
1, 2, 3 flowers right here in the last 3 inches.
So technically we could get another couple of plants of fruit off.
Technically, this should flower and fruit until frost.
Yeah.
And you could double or triple your yield. So,
My favorite crop.
yeah. I think I've already made the point on everything else, but just another case in point. Any questions?
So you guys going to do some of this by the time we come out here on October 1st?
Oh.
31st?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome.
By then, it may still be growing green.
We hope so. Yes.
I mean, seriously, right? I mean, we've been getting our first frost in Central Mass in the end of October recently.
Well, we sometimes get really early. That's why I have to get one early one, and then it's warm for weeks. And
sometimes you get one early one, and sometimes you don't get one early one.
If we get through September without it, then we probably won't have it until mid-October.
And you may make it till end of October. I mean, I think it's totally plausible that we could not have a frost in here by, well, who knows?
You just never know.
You never know. Mm-hmm. But if we operate with the assumption that everything will be green and growing strong until frost, then it doesn't really matter when it happens. You've kept things going at peak potential as long as you could.
Well, the other thing is that if you have really healthy plants, they aren't as affected by frost. So if
And
it's a close frost,
that 30-degree frost won't kill them.
right.
That's totally true. The 30-degree frost won't kill them if they've got high bricks.
Right.
If you have high bricks in the leaves, that is antifreeze. And they may get burned. A few of them may get burned, but they won't get frosted. My tomatoes made it through 28-degree frosts in my hoop house 2 years ago. Okay, it was only the 26-degree frost that got them. I had a thermometer right in the middle of the greenhouse, and it got down to 28. There was a 30, a 28, and a 28, and then they made it through all 3 of those, and there was a 26 that got them. So.